No, it's okay. We need to do the synopsis. Feel free to cough right into it.
Well, I also don't want to cough it into your faces.
I'm already sick. It's fine. She's the only one.
Poop in the butt, poop in the butt, poop in the butt, poop in the butt, butt in your butt, butt in your butt.
Wow.
Why did we just sing the poop in the butt song?
That's not even a song!
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
Can we,
That's a holiday classic.
Yeah, don't you know, poopy butthole? Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake.
Chris.
And Ames. And we are here for episode 27, and on this most amazing day of days...
Amazing is the word you're going with?
Amazing.
I just said auspicious.
By any other name, would these episodes not smell like shit? Today we're here to discuss episode 22, By Any Other Name, and also episode 23, The Omega Glory. Which, why was it called that?
Why was
glory
it
hole.
there?
Well, I think the planet was something Omega.
Yeah, it's Omega.
Or Omega.
Well, according to Ames's notes
9.
here, it was Omega 4.
There we go.
So, in By Any Other Name, I have to try to remember what the fuck this episode was about. Oh, the Enterprise crew find themselves on a little planet, kind of looks like the Shore Leave planet. It's very Edenish. It's very nice. And while there, they encounter some aliens called the Kelvins. Now, at first, everything seems cool because the Kelvins are humanoid, but things very quickly take a turn when the Kelvins use their magical pain boxes on their belts to freeze the Enterprise crew and demand that they turn over their ship so that they can, I don't know, take a 1,000-year journey, but take it really quickly.
300.
Yeah, 300-year journey so that they can try to find a new planet for the Kelvins.
Well, no, they're going back to the Andromeda Galaxy where the Kelvin Empire was from to let them know that the Milky Way galaxy is ripe for conquest.
That it's habitable. Great. Okay. Strike all that I said. We're going back to the Andromeda Galaxy, apparently. But it could take up to 300 years, but no, it won't. Don't worry.
This episode took 300 years.
I like this episode.
Okay.
I liked it. However, along with their magical pain boxes on their belts that render crew unable to move, they're also able to turn Enterprise crew members into what looks kind of like astronaut ice cream, which is apparently what the human body becomes if you remove everything that is not the brain and the spirit and maybe some other stuff, blood, muscle, something.
He was a little vague about what was being removed.
Everything.
Where'd the rest go?
All the naughty parts.
The naughty bits. They show them that they have this power to dehydrate people into astronaut ice cream and then destroy the astronaut ice cream remnants of one of the crew members to make sure that there is, no tomfoolery from Kirk, no heroics. They use their magical pain boxes to force their way onto the Enterprise and incapacitate the crew and take over the ship, and they start on their way to the Andromeda Galaxy. Along the way, we realize that the Kelvins do not usually live in human-like bodies and spend a lot of their time so focused on their goals and removing unnecessary distractions like taste, apparently also sex, alcohol, and probably some other things too. I bet they don't worry too much about bathing.
Fisting.
Yeah, no fisting. Definitely no fisting.
I don't know, they have 100 limbs, apparently.
How could anyone get anything done if there's fisting going on? I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. So, they've given up fisting and food. Wine, women, and fisting. And and the Enterprise crew I shouldn't say the whole crew, actually. Most of the crew is melted down into these little orb things. Little cuboctohedron? Is that what you wrote here?
That's what I found on the website.
Cuboctohedrons.
Earlier you called them D20s. I feel like that
I didn't call them a D20.
I call them D20.
God damn it, I can't remember who said what. Someone said D20.
You always think it's me, and it's never me. But anyway, so all of the crew members, aside from Bones, Scotty, Kirk, and Spock, have been turned into astronaut ice cream D20s, and these 4 core members set about figuring out the best ways to distract the Kelvins. Scotty, of course, being Scottish, teaches one of them about drinking and manages to just barely drink him under the table, his knockout punch being a bottle of very old scotch. Spock, well, we'll get to Spock in a second. McCoy uses, like, some kind of hormone, some kind of bullshit injection spray to make one of them get really, like, testy and full of, aggression and shit. And Kirk, as is Kirk's wont, decides to teach the female Kelvin how to love, or at least how to kiss. Upon seeing this, Rojan, who is I was thinking that, who is the leader of the Kelvins, is, like, very jealous, maybe, of this kissing that's happening, and Spock, that naughty bastard, does everything he can to sort of stoke the fires of jealousy so that Rojan will then be as distracted by the female, whose name is Kalinda, kissing Kirk as Kalinda is distracted by kissing Kirk. I don't even really remember how it, like, kind of wraps up. Like, they're, like, in a fist fight, and Kirk is just like, you could just be our friends and we could just give you a planet. And Rojan's like, what? Really? And Kirk's like, yeah, dog. We'll set you up. The Federation is sweet.
I said at the beginning of the episode, you should have listened then.
And Rojan was like, all right, sweet deal. Also, now I know about kissing.
Yeah, they've become too human to go back to Kelva.
Yeah.
So it's a win. They go back to the planet they found them on, and everyone lives happily ever after. Or
Pretty
do
much.
they?
Except for Yeoman Thompson, who got crushed as her cube.
Fuck her. She was terrible.
She was pretty bad.
Awful actress. And then, in the Omega glory, yeah, that's how I feel too. I don't even really remember what happens. So Kirk and Spock and Bones wind up on board a completely empty ship.
Was it the Exeter, I think?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
The Exeter, apparently.
The crew...
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's right. The Exeter crew is apparently missing.
Or are they?
Well, it turns out they're not. It's the 94% of them that's water that's missing, according to Bones. They've been dehydrated and once again turned into astronaut ice cream.
Well, this time they've been crystallized.
They've been turned to meth.
Crystal ice cream.
Or crack.
Yes. You could smoke them.
Smoke them if you got them. Thankfully, the Enterprise crew is alerted by a well-placed video blog, or vlog, as I like to call them, that whatever killed the crew of the Exeter could also kill them and the rest of the Enterprise crew, and that they should beam down to the planet. And they do, and what do you know? They run into Kirk's old buddy, Captain Ron Tracy, who, I don't know, probably taught him whatever course he learned the Corbomite maneuver in. And we come across, like, it's a horrible scene, because Tracy...
It's a horrible episode.
It's a horrible episode. But there are two different peoples living on this planet. There are the Coms and the Yangs. The Coms appear to be folk of Asian descent, and the Yangs are a bunch of crackers. And the Yangs are thought to be very savage and, like, unable to communicate, and the Coms are kind of beating the crap out of them in the streets, so that's great.
They were going to execute him. They were going to cut his head off.
Yeah.
So the Enterprise crew halt this from happening, and instead the Yangs get imprisoned. In speaking with Captain Tracy, Kirk realizes that whatever killed the crew of the Exeter, the planet that they're now on, has some kind of magical immunity, antibody, force field magic, I don't even really know, that keeps you from dying and turning into crack cocaine as long as you stay on planet. So they think. We also find out that Tracy has been hanging out with the Coms, who are the more civilized of the two native peoples of this planet, and that one of them has lived to be, 462 years old, and that his grandfather was over 1,000 years old. So Tracy thinks that in coming to this planet, he's discovered a fountain of youth.
Whoa.
And he wants McCoy to study them to see if he can figure out how to replicate that for people.
In Massachusetts, it's a bubbler of youth.
Yes. A bubbler. Meanwhile,
I get it.
Kirk gets thrown into prison with a couple of the Yangs, and they kind of rough him up for a while, and eventually he apparently says the word freedom at some point, and they're like, holy shit, freedom, that's like our worship word. And Kirk's like, whoa, you speak English? And they're like, yeah, we totally speak English, but like, why are you saying words that we know?
Because no one has ever used the word freedom around us.
And then they come to a mutual understanding.
Yeah, they come to a mutual understanding, and then the male Yang bops Kirk over the head with a lead
Iron
pipe.
bar.
It was the Yang leader in the jail cell with the lead pipe. Kirk goes down for 7.5 hours, which can't be fucking good for you at all. The Yangs escape.
More than a couple minutes, it's supposed to like cause brain damage.
Spock
Yeah, they
is
talk about that in an
sexy.
episode of Archer once.
Yeah, at least once. I feel like that's a common theme. At any rate, the Yangs run off to gather reinforcements and fuck bitches up. And meanwhile, Kirk confronts Tracy. Or no, Kirk talks to McCoy, and McCoy's like, Jim, these people aren't long-lived because of a serum. They're long-lived because of evolution. Jim! And Captain Tracy comes in, and Kirk's like, there's no fountain of youth, asshole. And Tracy's like, fuck you, bitch. And then they have a merry jaunt wherein fucking Kirk leaps with cat-like grace over short stone structures and around corners for some reason.
Oh, so good.
So good.
Something in this episode had to be fucking good.
The
That's
leaping.
true.
The leaping was the good part.
The leaping was the good part. At any rate, the Yangs show up in greater numbers and take them all captive, and Tracy is like trying to convince them that Kirk is Satan. Or no, that Spock is Satan, because the Yangs have the Holy Brobel, and they have bookmarked a picture of Satan that looks a lot like Spock.
It's not a picture of Satan, it's a picture of Spock. Like,
looks a
Tracy
lot
was
like
in there
Spock.
earlier, like,
Yeah.
sketching that thing.
This'll fool them. And then they come in, and the Yangs, they've got an American flag, guys. What's the deal with that?
What is the deal with that?
I don't know. I still don't know.
Well,
And
We'll get to that.
And then the leader of the Yangs, who I'm sure has a
Cloud-
name.
Cloud
Oh, his
William.
name's Cloud. That's nice. So Cloud starts saying the Pledge of Allegiance and badly. Like
I didn't even know
it
it
sounded
was the
like
Pledge
it
of
was
Allegiance.
fake Latin or something. And then Kirk joins in and is like, I know the Pledge of Allegiance. Here's the rest of the Pledge of Allegiance. And they're like, holy shit. And Tracy is like, no, he's just trying to trick you, obviously. And then, was it Kirk with his infinite knowledge of the Brobel who was like, but doesn't good triumph over evil?
Yeah, I think.
And the Yangs are like, yeah, that's totally how it works. So he and Tracy have some one-on-one combat wherein they're bound to each other with a leather strap by their wrist and have to beat the shit out of each other. And, you know, the fight's over when someone's dead. So this is always the case.
Always,
And-
but
Except no
always the
one's
case,
dead.
except it's never actually happened.
yeah, no one ever dies. So Kirk obviously takes the upper hand and bests Tracy, then is like, you know, I won't kill him. I'm Kirk. And this is about where I fell asleep, so I don't really know what happened after that.
Sulu and a couple of red shirts
Yes.
beaten in.
Oh, that's right, because he was like, yes, I need some phasers.
No, that was earlier.
Yeah,
No,
but
Spock,
that wasn't why people got sent down?
No,
I
No,
assumed
because
that
Spock used his
Spock-
mind powers.
Yeah,
to...
Spock Jedi mind tricked
Oh, the girl. That's
the
right.
girl
And she
Yang.
went and got the communicator. Right. Well, anyway, reinforcements show up. And then Kirk, as I had fucking suggested he would eventually do, like 30 minutes ago, started saying the preamble to the Constitution for some reason and was like, Cloud, the Constitution's for everyone. Yangs and comms and stuff.
Well, we already genocided the comms, so I guess it's just for us now.
It's we the people, not me, the one guy.
That's a pretty good impression of what he sounded like, too. Anyway, I don't know. The Enterprise crew fucking leaves and flips the bird to this stupid fucking planet.
Tracy
So-
goes to jail.
Hopefully.
Good.
I hope they send
Rightfully.
him to the penal colony that's run by Dr. Van Gelder. A really weird moment.
And they touch dicks and the world ends.
Yeah, just like Time Cop.
Haven't had that in a while.
Had
Yeah.
someone touch dicks and
Yeah.
the world end?
Yeah,
haven't
touch
had
Oh,
that
dicks.
yeah, I haven't said touch dicks in a while,
Yeah,
it's true.
Touch dicks. Gonna make up for lost episodes.
Lost dicks.
Yep.
So yeah, that episode, second episode was terrible.
Yep. You liked my any other name though.
I did,
You
yeah,
like
I
you
thought it
like,
was
you like
alright.
the silly bits.
Yeah, I like silly bits. I'm not
I
gonna
liked
lie.
I liked the whole Scotty narrative arc. That was a good one.
That's how you know it's gonna get real Scottish real soon.
Get some bagpipes up in there.
God, well, they were bagpipes
They
hanging. in his
decorated
little-
the shit out of Scotty's
There was a
room.
kilt.
They were
Yep.
just like,
He had a suit
quick,
of armor.
we've got to show Scotty's.
Wait, that was supposed to be his cabin?
Yeah.
They're gonna show
I think
Scotty's.
it was like a
That's why
common
he
room.
that's
No.
why he knew where he hid the whiskey.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he could know. I mean, I have shit hidden all around your house.
But yeah, no, they had a kilt on the wall. They had bagpipes. They had that random fuck off armor. They were just like they went to some fucking WASP set designer and said, "What does a Scotsman's room look like?" And he just went, "I don't know, kilts and shit.
Here's some Scottish stuff I've heard of.
Yeah, Jesus. But that's the second
Surprised
episode.
you didn't just have a haggis on the wall. What do you mean that's the second episode? It's the first episode.
Oh, no, it is. Yeah, that's right. We do get to talk about this now.
Yay!
Yeah, that room was,
Okay. Before we
Lavishly decorated.
Yeah.
can we start with so we meet Rojan and Kalinda of
Yep.
the Kelvin Empire
Yep.
in the Andromeda Galaxy,
Yep.
yay many thousands of light years away.
Yep.
I have a large question. So they claim, oh, we don't come cohabitate, we conquer.
Yeah.
So they decide they take the Enterprise. They need to keep the crew around for some reason, even though they're conquerors and should theoretically be okay with just killing everybody.
Yep.
So they keep everybody except Yeoman Thompson alive in D20 form.
Yep.
Why? I don't understand. If all they need to do is get back to the Andromeda Galaxy, now they have a ship to do it in, and they obviously know enough about how to work the ship that they've already increased the warp factor to allow them to get there in 300 years instead of 1,000 years.
Yep.
Well,
Why keep the rest of the crew around?
either spoils of war or ransom.
Or food.
So they don't eat food; they eat pills.
Well, maybe when they run out of pills, maybe the pills are made out of people.
Well, I would have guessed slavery, because if they're finding a new planet, they're probably going to need to rebuild and.
Okay, maybe. That one's out there. They figure, we'll have specimens we can examine so that we better know how to kill these fuckers when we get back to their galaxy.
Well, you kill them very easily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by turning
they
them into
killed them
D20s
And then
instantly.
crushing those D20s.
Yeah, I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
What I want to know is why they're using a generational ship when they could just turn themselves into D20s for
Stasis purposes?
Yeah, it seems like a perfect way.
It does.
You're compact. You can put your whole crew on a shelf.
Yeah.
But then somebody would have to stay alive to
you
regenerate them, wouldn't they?
You do every couple of years, someone swaps.
Yeah, you do shifts.
But the problem is if the one person who's in charge dies, then you're all fucked.
Well, that's why you have a couple at a time, you figure.
I'm saying, it seems like they have the technology for long space flight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Their long space flight was something that actually intrigued me a lot because it's a generational ship, which means that none of these people, Rojan or Kalinda or the other people that we meet from the Kelvin Empire, they have never actually been home, and they never will be home. They're gonna die in space.
Yep.
They're consigned to dying in space and having their children, assuming they fucking figure out how to bump uglies, even though Kirk had to kind of tell them that their children are going to be the ones carrying it out, and their children continue carrying it out, which means many generations have probably passed since they were in the Empire. Why do they even care anymore?
Well, for all they know, you figure it took them at least 300 years to get to the Milky Way.
Yep. And how long have they been there, did they say?
That is unclear.
Okay.
And then another 300 to get back.
Yep.
And then an unknown amount of time in the Milky Way. Actually, no. You know what? No. They just got there.
They just got to the Milky Way?
Within a few years anyway.
Oh,
Because they did say that their ship was destroyed by crossing the barrier into the Milky Way. So they were the ones that, crash landed on that planet. So at the very least, they haven't been here long. So either way, in the 600-ish years it takes them round trip, for all they know, their empire's going to have collapsed.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's going to be like Mad Max Fury Road. They show up and it's just all gone.
Yeah, or they're going to realize that the threat that had pushed them out of the Andromeda Galaxy to begin with has maybe been fixed or solved or something. And that was the other thing. The threat was so dumb. Apparently the entire galaxy was somehow reaching unsafe radiation levels.
Yeah, that was an odd one.
It was also just short-sighted from a fiction perspective of, we're going to just consign this whole galaxy to death for one story, and that sort of cuts it off for use for future stories.
Is the Andromeda Galaxy the one that's closest to the
Yes.
Milky Way? So they're the ones that, one day, way in the future, we're eventually supposed to collide with, right?
Are we going towards them? I was never
I thought
clear.
so. I know there's one that we're supposed to collide with.
Probably
many,
them.
many eons from now.
How will
Probably.
that work?
Very, very difficultly.
Yeah, galaxies do collide sometimes. It's probably a terrible holocaust.
Yeah,
Jesus
I'm sure.
Christ, why does anybody have children?
I don't
This is
know.
awful.
These stars are so far apart. I can imagine, if galaxies collided, they would just
It would
the
just- it would just be
stars would just change.
It would be just a swirling
well,
of
it'd be
all
just
the stars.
like a dual, because a galaxy is really just
A very big starship.
yes. No,
That's-
it's like a really
that's
big
beautiful,
star
Chris.
system. Only instead of
Oh no, I meant the Enterprise D.
Orbiting.
I was being poetic.
or
Sorry.
even It's just stars orbiting a central
Black
singularity. Yeah.
Yeah, but I imagine that, like, the number of gravitational forces that are getting all fucked up when two galaxies start sharing space must at least cause some bullshittery.
Man,
Probably.
fuck that.
Well,
Good
that's
thing
fine.
people don't live forever.
So we're on our way back to Kelvin at some point. We're going to cross the transgalactic barrier again.
We're all gonna get superpowers.
We're all going to become Gary Mitchell.
I was gonna say, that would have been a better episode.
Just like, no, we know what happens when we go out here. No!
And that would have been great if, like, going through the galactic barrier only gives superpowers to humans. So, you know, the Kelvins are all badasses until they go through the barrier, and then everybody else's eyes start to turn tinfoily.
Or at least somebody, you know? At least
Yeah.
one human gets superpowers, and that's the rest of the episode, is that guy just fucking them up.
Yep.
I was surprised that didn't come up because they did say, oh yeah, the galactic barrier, we've been there, but not what happened there.
Well, you know, Kirk...
It's one of very few references to a previous episode.
It's one of few references to that pilot.
Yeah.
They really generally kind of have mostly pretended that didn't exist.
What?
Well, not pretended it didn't exist,
See,
but
I feel like they don't really like acknowledge other episodes in specific moments at all.
Well, that's true. There was the Corbomite maneuver, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it is funny. Like, I was almost surprised that they acknowledged it at all, because I feel like, even though that episode did air, unlike Menagerie, the Cage,
The Cage kind of aired.
it did kind of, yeah, but at first it hadn't. Like, it still feels sort of like a weird, like, they don't acknowledge it as much. I don't know. But even in that, though, it did only give 2 people superpowers.
Yeah, the 2 with the highest ESP ratings.
Which has never come up again.
Maybe no one else on the ship had high ESP ratings.
Yeah. But still, I thought it would have been cool if a superpowered human was just taking out these...
Walter would have gotten it. He's at the next highest ESP.
God damn it.
He wasn't
Sounds
there at the
right.
time. That would have been great. Superpowered Chekhov just fucking people up.
Mind controlling everybody into believing that Russia had really invented all the things he said that they had.
Yes.
Mind controlling people into believing his haircut wasn't stupid.
Evidently, Spock has a fairly high ESP rating. If he was able to mind meld a woman through a stone cave wall.
And across a room in the next
Well,
one.
he wasn't able to. He got pushed back
No,
by
he still connected with her. She
Yeah.
was just too strong for him.
Yeah.
Too much shit
too much
going on.
woman for him to handle.
You can say that
That
again.
jumpsuit was sweet, though.
There was a really phallic door mechanism.
That Spock kept fondling
Yeah,
with his
I can-
fingertips.
Caressing. I don't know, there was something really sexy about that.
The door was
Door.
hot. The sound that it made also was sexy.
What was
And the
sound,
flower.
Caitlin?
I don't
the
remember.
flower was
Oh,
oddly
but it was
phallic.
nice.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
goodness.
It
The
was.
flower wasn't
What do you
phallic.
call
It
this?
was just a flower.
Yeah, but it was one of those dicky looking flowers. And she's like
It looked
stroking
like a fucking
it.
yellow lilac.
Floppy ding dong.
Yeah, it was a yellow lilac. What does a penis look vaguely like?
No!
He's got a point
a limp
insofar...
hot dog? I really don't. I don't follow.
I do follow...
Were there
insofar-
hot dog trees there?
I wish.
And then she's like stroking it, and then Kirk takes it and like gives it the death grip.
Yeah, he destroys it.
That's because that's how
Foreshadowing the jealousy thing later.
Yeah.
foreshadowing the fact that if she's never given a hand job before, she's probably going to destroy his junk if they get naked.
Wow. But no, I do want to see... Jake, I do see where you're coming from insofar that it is one of those little cluster flowers that is sort of long and conical. As opposed to, like, it's not like
Is
a...
your dick conical?
No, but it's closer to the shape of a phallus than, say, a sunflower.
Your penis is closer to the shape of a phallus than a
penis in
sunflower?
general.
Caitlin, you ever see like a cornucopia as a centerpiece on a table?
Is that what your cock looks like, Jake?
Yeah, it's got like gourds and Indian corn coming out of it.
Cornucopia cock.
Cockupia.
Cornucopia.
Cockia, yeah, that's right.
So I'm not sure.
What a penis is supposed to look like?
You ever see an ice cream cone taped to the bottom of it?
You ever seen a grown man naked?
You watch gladiator movies about gladiators?
So I'm not sure if I liked this episode or not. I'm still I've been thinking about it and I just don't know. Like, there were moments, Scotty getting that one guy shit-faced was great.
Yep. Kirk putting the moves on a girl who doesn't even fucking care.
That was,
He apologized hard.
Like, I'll admit,
Apologize again.
it was kind of like, oh, good, Kirk's doing this again. The one thing that did kind of make it worth it, though, was the fact that she at first really wasn't interested, and he looked baffled. Like, that was kind of great, but then it was just... And then there was the guy who just wanted to see get punched. He had such a punchable face. And they was like, we gave him injections so he gets cranky.
So he gets crabs?
And then they just plain forgot about the navigator.
Yeah.
She was busy navigating.
Like, it was a half-assed script.
Don't worry, Kirk was going to teach her how to love, too. That's what I liked. As soon as we saw Blue Jumpsuit Girl with her perky triangle tits, I'm like, oh, Kirk's going to teach you to love.
That was
See.
That was the long-term plan. It was like, now that I've taught you how to love, I'm going to teach you about the three-way.
Oh.
And then they would bring down the navigator.
I mean, they've got 300 years, so.
I don't think Kirk's got that long.
Something length joke.
Fountain of Youth.
Now, how many
Bubbler
people
youth.
do you think got
Cornucopia
accidentally stepped on when they were in D20 form?
Yeah, because they did just leave them scattered throughout the hall.
Yeah, you'd think that they'd say, everyone go to your bunks, we'll cube you up in there.
Well, I
Cube
think
me
in a
up,
later
Scotty.
scene they even showed that, like even they just left Uhura on the chair.
Yep.
So like,
Someone's gonna sit on her.
Well, then even if you looked in the background at sick bay at one point, there was a cube just sitting on a bed. It's probably Nurse Chapel.
Yeah.
Poor Nurse Chapel.
What's she
Hopefully,
doing
if
sitting on the bed?
hopefully if she gets crushed, it'll be Spock that accidentally sits on her.
Nice.
She'd want it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like, because he was like, oh god, here we go with another super advanced alien race, and oh look, they've got a device that can control them. There's again. At first, I remember we talked a while ago, it's sort of refreshing at first when it's like, oh yeah, it's nice to see that they're sort of like not always the biggest boys on the block, or at least not at the same level, because so often everyone's at like the same level.
I don't know. I feel like we've come across mostly superhuman beings or subhuman beings.
Oh, I meant throughout like Trek as a whole. Like as we go along, it'll more and more often just be like
The Romulans and
the Klingons, or people that are like again on their level, or even if they are above them, they're above them just enough that they're confused for an episode. But then like look at the Borg.
Well, when you're in like grade school or whatever, like if you're a third grader, how often do you talk to the kindergartners, and how often do you talk to the sixth graders?
Yeah, exactly.
Never.
But
they won't have it.
I feel like it's almost happened sort of too much at this point in the original series, where it's just like, oh god, we're doing this again with the super advanced. And I feel like even the show was a little bored of it. There's like, yeah, here we go, they're gonna take over. I like the idea of how they sort of beat them. You know, it was like they don't know how to beat people. But even that we've seen before.
It was the same approach as trying to talk a computer to death, but these guys weren't exactly computers. It was just telling them like, no. Now you're too human-like to go back to your planet.
Yeah.
You enjoy eating food and you like kissing faces.
Yeah.
Which means your plans are worthless and you shouldn't do any of them.
Yeah. But it's just like it felt all a bit tired. You know.
So they're in their humanoid form when they're usually these 100-limbed tentacle monsters.
Yep.
Hot. What made them change into humanoid form?
They had to because they decided they were going to steal the Enterprise.
So until the Enterprise got there, they weren't humans?
I don't know.
Where'd they get the awesome jumpsuits?
Did they steal some? I thought the idea was that they stole somebody else's body.
Oh, did they? Maybe.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I didn't get that either.
I thought the reason that they went to that planet in the first place was that they were trying to find a missing ship.
I don't
Well,
think so.
they sent the alien, the Kelvins sent a fake distress call.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. To lure the Enterprise.
I see.
They did refer to the bodies as shells, though, so they may have stolen them from someone.
Where would they have gotten? Because this is
I mean,
this is close-ish, as we said, to the galactic barrier, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a little weird and vague.
It's just human
Then again,
suits.
with all their powers, it's entirely possible they can just shapeshift.
Yeah. They're just human suits like Ted Cruz has.
What I thought was super duper fucking silly was when they see these beings and the beings say that they're from another galaxy, and I forget who says this, but they're saying like, oh, what are the odds of coming across other humanoid creatures that are from outside the galaxy? And I say 100%, because every single race that you find is a fucking humanoid race.
Yeah. Well, and again, at the end of the day, rather
except for the Horta, whatever.
Except for Uhura?
the Horta. Sorry, I said the Hora, but yes, Horta.
Yeah, the Hora's that.
It's a dance, with the chair. Yeah.
Although, when you think about it, really, and technically speaking, I don't think any of the extragalactic threats have been humanoid, because the extragalactic people from Cat's Paw were actually weird little like plum monsters or
Yeah,
something.
little green... Or little
And this
blue
isn't even
puppets.
their actual form. And then the Doomsday Machine was from another galaxy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that, God knows who built that thing. Apparently not the Kelvins.
Could have been the Kelvins. You don't know. Maybe that's why their galaxy is radioactive now.
Too many Doomsday Machines.
It's a good song.
It is a good song.
But yeah, I don't know.
I liked it. And especially compared with the Omega Glory, I liked it a lot.
That's. I mean, I think that's part of the reason I'm having a hard time deciding what I think of it is because of what it was paired with.
The palette cleanser to follow was absolutely shit.
I'm sad we never heard back from the red shirt who was turned into a cube and then turned back again. The black guy.
Yeah.
We never heard from him.
Like I said, there's one moment where he's just kind of in the background looking annoyed, like, I'm fine, by the way. Thanks for asking. Being a cube was great. Dickheads.
I mean, he was also, like, there was a 50-50 shot of him getting crushed.
Yeah.
We didn't know which one of them got crushed.
Nope.
And we just assumed it was going to be the black guy.
I actually did assume and was like upset because I was like, really?
You were upset that it wasn't the black guy?
No, that it was going to be.
Oh,
Because I was like, oh, sure, yeah, this fucking guy finally gets to go on a landing party. I was just thinking, like, in the 60s, this black actor, he's got a good break. He's going to be on fucking Star Trek. It's great. And what do? They're going to fucking crush him to death.
He even had a couple lines.
He did. Yeah. He was great. And
Well,
again,
I think part of the thing, too, is we're just so used to the fact that in fiction, men are often the expendable ones. It's rare to see a woman get killed like that.
But thank God she did, because, boy,
She was a terrible
could not
actor.
have acted her
No,
way
she
out
was
of a
awful.
fucking brown paper bag. But yeah, I sort of feel like Bones dropped the ball there because he is the ship's psychiatrist as well as doctor, and you would think that if someone was turned into a cube and almost crushed to death, you would maybe check in and see how they were doing. Ask if they had any feelings they needed to process.
I think he'd have survivor guilt.
Here's how it would work. Doc would sit down with him. How you doing, buddy? Well, if I'm honest, have some booze. Well, what? That's the whole prescription. You get the fuck out of my office. This is the 60s. Psychiatry didn't exist yet.
Well,
Doctor,
now
shut the fuck up
and,
next.
Scotty and what's his fuck?
Purple jumpsuit.
Purple
Lilac,
jumpsuit have
more
drank
lilac.
every drop of booze
On the ship.
The
Yeah.
Purple Ranger.
They even got that bottle of scotch from Chekhov's Foot Locker.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Star Trek Beyond. McCoy steals some scotch from...
I was gonna say, that was Scotty's scotch, and he was really sad to have to waste it on this lunkhead.
I also like that there's a...
How did this guy who had never drank... Well, he's a different being, that's why. But I was going to wonder how he stood up to it.
He's
he
got
has
quite a
tolerance.
tolerance for...
A newbie, yeah.
But no, one of the things when the jumpsuit guy's like, "What's that?" and Scotty looks at it and goes, "It's green."
Green.
I like that because there's a callback to that line in a future episode.
Nice.
So remember that. Scotty looking at a green drink. And
Saying it's green.
and
Well,
someone says
at least
it's
we
green.
know he hasn't lost his color vision.
What color is a Vulcan's blood? It's green.
Well, that actually was just Spock's sample from
I
the
was
blood
thinking
bank.
that it was a blood bank. Like, I actually had that thought while we were watching. Like, seriously, in my head. Stop. I think you've mind melded with me
I think so.
Through a wall
through a wall.
with magic.
Yeah. Space magic.
All right. Yeah, this one was fine. Omega Glory!
I had a thing I wanted to say.
What was your thing?
My thing was shut up, Jake.
That's fair.
Well, really, what was your thing?
No, I think so. This was
Oh, you said you had stories, didn't you?
well, I had some stories that would have been in the original script
Ooh.
that were removed, and this was a Jerome Bixby script, and a lot of it was rewritten by DC Fontana because the original script was way fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like the Kelvins would have sucked like 10 crewmen out into space through the shuttle bay instead of just turning everybody into cubes.
Blown
Christ.
out.
What?
They would have been blown out.
Blown out. Yes.
They would have sucked 10 crewmen's dicks. What?
And also because this would have been a multi-generational kind of trip, the Kelvins were supposed to have ordered various crew members to mate with each other so that they would breed slaves for them.
Ew.
Oh, nice.
Hey, see, so there's that slave element I
Yeah,
was
so I
mentioning.
guess
That is why they were
that
cubed.
that answered it.
I mean, maybe.
The answer is why to keep people around to be their freaking slaves.
It just feels that way. I mean, I feel like conquerors always
like to have slaves,
Like to
yeah.
have slaves of the old people, the old, whoever they've conquered. So
Were there any other bits or just those?
Those were the bits I wanted to share.
Nice.
Those are cool.
bits.
But thank you,
Nice
Jake.
bits.
I feel like you should apologize.
Oh, guys, stop making out. Gross. Ew.
That was... Oh, God.
Just kidding. That was really hot. Do it again.
Again, I did appreciate some of the faces Shatner made in that scene. Like,
Aw.
Kirk was fucking, like, so confused that someone was not immediately aroused by him.
She must be a lesbian. It's the only explanation.
It's not that I can be off-putting and that my unwanted advances aren't hot.
Yeah, I do continue to be a little creeped out by the way that he just keeps making out with people that don't understand what making out is, because
Yeah.
it does feel a little, like, non-consensual
Yeah.
and gross.
Yeah.
A little advantagey.
Yeah, but he's not doing it out of any sort of personal pleasure, I don't think.
No,
I
he just
don't
needs
think that
and wants
matters.
something
He's doing
out
it-
of them. Oh,
I
I
wait,
mean, to be
that's
fair,
I mean,
like,
it's-
rape isn't really about sex, it's about power.
True.
So,
I guess in that sense, that's probably...
it's a little squicky, as the kids
sure.
say.
Why
Yeah,
didn't he
yeah.
blow
To be
up the
fair, he
ship?
did apologize.
He did apologize with his mouth. Thrice.
What were you gonna ask?
So, he didn't blow up the ship.
No, he
When he
didn't.
had the opportunity.
Well,
Oh yeah, I completely forgot
because-
about that whole...
he doesn't believe in a no-win scenario.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
Bones is like so pissed. Why didn't you do it, Jim?
Bones has been suicidal for months.
Because he ran out of bourbon ages ago.
Right.
Scotty's are all hidden under fucking.
I mean, it's all, of course, a moot point because, as Orange Jumpsuit explains, he knew and was just not going to tell them until they tried to do it. It didn't work, but it was a moot point.
So, the Omega shithole.
I'm sorry.
The Omega glory hole.
You know
So
what's hilarious?
here's what's wrong.
Wait, Ames was going to say something.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, like, we all kind of do this. You get railroaded over a lot, so you should say your thing.
Okay, I'll say a thing.
I'm going to speak up for you every time you get fucking interrupted from now on.
Shut up, Caitlin. No, thank you, Kate. This is one of the 3 episodes that was pitched for the second pilot. That they eventually went with Where No Man Has Gone Before.
God, thank God they didn't lead with this one.
Yeah, they didn't pick this one because of the weak script.
But
Shocking!
But then they thought, fuck it, let's make it anyway a year and a half
Well, they
later?
probably ran out of scripts.
Yeah, so
They're
they
like, we
had-
already have this
Do
on
another
the show.
clip show.
They had this fucking thing all through season 1 and kept saying, no, not that. No, get
Anything
it out
but
of our
that.
face. We don't
Shore
want that
leave
one.
before that. Dear God.
Neary before that.
The Apple. A private little war before that.
Private Little War wasn't far before that, so...
Yeah, I mean, they really had to go through the bottom of the barrel before they got to this one.
I think that's probably because Roddenberry kept fucking digging it out or something.
What, did he like it for some
Simply-
stupid
I
reason?
think he did.
Probably
What an
because
idiot.
of the really subtle metaphor about relations between comms and yangs.
Well, can we first just address the fact that the comms are all Asian
Yep.
actors,
Yep.
and at one point in the episode, I think Kirk or somebody even refers to them
Calls
as
them yellow.
Yellow.
It was Kirk, yes.
So there's some seriously questionable racial things going
Well, yeah,
on.
but
Yeah.
was yellow still an accepted term in the 60s, though? Like, I really don't know. I feel
By
like...
the late
don't
60s,
know.
I don't know. I really feel like you lose that around WW2, you know, with the Japanese, anti-Japanese propaganda.
I mean, I would guess that would have gone on for a while longer, considering we had people in internment camps.
Well, I'm saying after one.
I don't know what was socially acceptable by then, to be honest, but it's the other thing is it feels wrong regardless, just because like they decided they would be these weird kind of like Mongol raider stereotypes
Yeah,
in
that was
their
the other
clothes
thing.
and weapons, like
Yeah.
I was wondering throughout how much of that was Captain Tracy's, I don't know,
He'd only been there for-
infiltration or...
6 months.
Oh,
so
okay, that's-
most of the culture as he found it was probably
Okay.
what it was. He just introduced the phaser.
Yeah.
This wasn't another fucking
Yeah, no,
come
this-
come in and totally shape the way the fucking planet is
Right.
run.
Yeah, no,
it
he was
already a fucking.
He was
planet.
just trying to get the magical fountain of youth shit he thought was there that ultimately wasn't. It's kind of like a rough draft for Insurrection,
Yeah, it is in a way.
except, ooh, is this better than Insurrection?
No,
might
Insurrection
be.
isn't actually that bad.
I have to rewatch it. It's been years. See, the problem with this one, for me, is that
It's awful.
it starts off strong. Right?
Yeah, like the crystalline people.
Like, I had completely forgotten through the years that crystalline people and fucking parallel Earth, Cold War, Ima Peepa, whatever the fuck he said bullshit. We're the same. We're the same episode.
What is it? Wait, so what is he saying when he's like Ipanema or whatever the fuck it is?
He's fucking up we the people.
How? How is it that bad?
Because he doesn't know how to read.
Yeah, but none of there isn't a like there's no fucking E.
Yeah, it's.
Where did the W go? Do they not know what W's are?
They think they're sideways E's.
Maybe.
He can't read. He's just guessing.
But yeah, the fact that like crystalline horror ship then devolves into this fucking shit pile of suck is mind-boggling to me. Because it's like you start off really strong.
Yeah.
You even kind of continue okay, although the weird racial shit is kind of like, this is strange. But then you get to
American flag.
not yet, like parallel development. I will accept parallel development up to a point. But not only did they literally have the same fucking history, apparently, even though the continents were completely different shapes by the fucking way. So that's going to affect things. But never mind. Never fucking mind.
You seem to be getting a little heated.
Not only did they develop the same fucking flag, the same fucking war, although apparently they fought it with biological agents instead of nuclear. That's the one fucking difference. Not only that, they developed the same exact constitution, the same exact typeface, the same exact spacing, the same exact graphic fucking design. What? That is where I draw the line.
Listen, I mean, if you give a chimpanzee a typewriter, eventually he's going to write Hamlet.
That's right. They just reached the Hamlet planet.
This was Hamlet Planet.
Chimpanzee Hamlet planet.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, if they had all these other things that are obviously directly from, like, they have the entire U.S. government.
Yes.
Is the same.
Exactly.
But do they also have McDonald's?
They did until the war.
They must have, right?
Maybe they weaponized the McDonald's. That's the
biological agent.
McMeebas from last week or 2
Maybe
weeks
it
ago.
was McDowell's, like in Coming to America.
There you go.
Yeah, this war that would it was probably Khan's war, right? If it was in the 90s.
Yeah, they
what I
mentioned
thought too, yeah.
the biological agents being developed in the 90s. So yeah, it's probably related to the eugenics wars.
Those bastards.
I'm trying to think of other things that they would mispronounce from pop culture. I like the butt, and I cannot lie.
That was pretty good.
Was that the Terminator?
That was Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Earth's finest night.
and then Kirk is like, you see, you've lost all meaning. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. All you other brothers can't deny.
Has Shatner ever covered that song in his singing career?
I don't know. I
How can you...
packed my bags last night. Pre-flight. 0 hour. 9 a.m.
Nice.
I'm gonna
Gonna
be
be
high
as a
As a
kite
kite.
by then.
Well, now we have to share that.
I've seen that video so many
I'm
times.
surprised we haven't yet.
This is somehow the first time we've mentioned Shatner's singing
Hey.
career.
His Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is also a classic.
His Common People is awesome.
I don't
Yeah, it's
think I've heard
actually.
that one.
Oh, it's see. So what it is? The reason his is good is because have you ever heard the original song "Common People" by Paul?
No.
So a lot of it is kind of talk sung anyway. Mm-hmm. So what happens is the more talk singy parts Shatner does, but then Ben Folds does the part that requires
Singing.
actual
singing.
Singing ability.
and it actually works really well.
Okay.
What the hell was the point? I'm sorry. How did we get on Shatner's singing?
Because I was
Oh, you were-
saying that there could be other.
Oh, yeah,
things
yeah,
that-
I
that
like
this.
big-
That
yeah.
this. I use the
I'm Slim
big
Shady.
butts.
Yes, I'm the real Shady.
Are you?
All you
All
other
you
Slim
other
Shadys
Slim Shadys
are
are just
imitating.
imitating.
I love that.
How do you do a spoken word version of a rap song?
He found a way.
Yeah.
Wait, did he actually do a?
No, it's
It's
from
Futurama.
Futurama.
Oh, I missed it.
It's like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, this episode, like, that's what it is. That's why I think I hate this one so much. It betrays you. It tells you it's going to be something good.
And then it whips a flag out and beats you with it.
And the worst part is, all the basic setup. The, like, crystal ship. The
The crystal ship that a song by the Doors?
It is.
Okay,
It's actually a
great.
very good one. It's the Crystal Ship.
There's a good Doors song.
Ah,
So
just
did it.
one.
So there's the ship. You go down to the planet. You got the like crazy captain things found. All of that actually really works and would have been great without the fuckery.
Yeah, I don't know if I bet they just couldn't write themselves out of this episode.
Like
They're like, okay, how do we end it?
you
I
could
don't
have
know.
had it just be like, you know, you still could have had the war. You still could have had the biological aid. You could have had all of it. It just didn't need to be exact parallel development. You could have found a different way for all of it to get dealt with. It was so stupid. And again, it could have worked. That's what's so frustrating. It's a great concept, a great first couple of acts, and then it fucking implodes because of this idiotic bullshittery. That's, ugh.
And then you have racism and shit on top of that, and that just makes it fun.
Yeah, extra uncomfortable.
Yep. You know what I liked, though? I kind of liked Captain Tracy.
Oh, yeah,
Mostly
that's-
because he was the same guy as Van Gelder from Dagger of the Mind.
Yep. And so when he had to go crazy, he sold it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he's
was
a
crazy.
great
And
crazy
he
actor.
immediately went crazy.
Yeah,
he
just-
went from like 0 to cuckoo balls and like.
Well, because there was an off-screen fight that pushed him over the edge.
Well, he also apparently even before they got there had like murdered the shit out of a bunch of Yangs.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
true. How many Starfleet captains lose their fucking minds?
All of
Most.
them apparently.
Like, so basically, here's a
Kirk
career in
included.
Starfleet. If you don't go mad as a captain, you eventually just become a corrupt admiral.
I think that's what
I
happened.
think they
Or
need to,
Commodore.
yeah, I think they need to just cancel Starfleet and start over because it does not go well.
Well, it's space madness.
Space madness. I was just gonna say.
Yeah, what do you mean though? Like Tracy, all that worked. You know,
Yeah.
that
I
stuff was good.
I liked actually like this is like I'm always one to poo-poo fight choreography because it always looks absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Kirk's fight with Cloud, terrible.
Really
Kirk's
bad.
fight with Tracy was fun because they had that, the leather binding
Yeah.
at the wrist, which made it not like a whiff and punch each other kind of fight, but a drag each other around on the floor and
Yeah.
like wrestle kind of fight. And I thought that was a better way to go, and it looked more dynamic, I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they challenged themselves with that.
Yeah, then chop, grimace, chop, fall down.
Although the best part about the Kirk and Cloud fight was Spock's snarky commentary.
That was amazing.
throughout.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Captain. Try to distract him.
No reason with him.
Try to reason with him, Captain. It seems to be working. It was so funny.
Oh, I mean, sass isn't an emotion, so
It's more like a religion,
Yes.
a way of life.
God.
He does. He always brings the sass. I like that about Spock, but he probably doesn't even know he's doing it. That's
true.
That's even the better part. He's got all this natural sassafras, and he just doesn't even know it.
So Doc's amazing because it's like when he was ready to go on the suicide mission into the amoeba. It's like when he was getting really excited about the medical labs on Mudd's planet with the robots. Like, this situation isn't great, but he is like so absorbed in his research because there might be something there. Like, there's these moments of crazy dedication you see from him. You can understand that for all that we joke about it, he actually is a good researcher and physician. He's
Yeah.
really into these things.
I mean, just fucking Tracy's wanting to be on this planet because it might be a fountain of youth and blah, blah, blah. Therefore, let's break the Prime Directive 85 times over.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Captain. What the hell? What the fucking hell? You can't just pillage planets because there might be something in it for you.
Well, again,
Apparently, you can.
private
That's
little
what-
war.
Yeah,
They were gonna mine this planet for its medical resources right under the nose of the less advanced people that were living there.
Terrible. It's upsetting. And there was a line that made me pissed too. I think Kirk says it, which makes it even more infuriating. Saying like, "Oh, I would give my life and the life of my entire crew to avoid breaking the Prime Directive." And I'm like, Kirk, you're still alive,
You're
so
full
no, you
of
haven't.
shit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Can I please reference most of your career and the coming films?
Now,
Excuse me.
I feel like is this the first time the Prime Directive is referred to as the Prime Directive?
And not
Yeah.
the non-interference directive?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure it's
not
come up.
sure.
I feel like
kinda
it's
had
always
that-
referred to as the non-interference directive.
Like, that's what I wasn't sure of. If it's not the first time, it's the first time in a while. Because certainly the past few episodes, it's come up a lot lately. It was referred to as the non-interference directive.
I could swear that it's been called the Prime before, but I could be mistaken.
Well, we've been calling it the Prime Directive the whole time too, which makes
Yeah.
it
Well, that's the thing.
harder
It very
to-
well could have been, but it's definitely been a while.
Yeah,
if
but we
they
know
had
we
called it
know
that
it's
before.
called the Prime Directive because
origins.
The benefit of hindsight.
Yes.
So, having gone online, it looks like the actual first use of it, it's a little vague, but it sounds like they actually did use the term Prime Directive in Return of the Archons. But it sounds like it wasn't actually called the Prime Directive again until this episode.
Oh, okay.
And it is going to be explicitly defined very soon in Bread and Circuses.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it has been a while, but it has come up before as the Prime Directive as opposed to the Non-Interference Directive. And apparently, according to what I read, is also called General Order 1.
Ooh, General Order 1. Wait, what was the General Order where you...
24, I think?
Where you
Just
wipe
destroy
out a
the
planet?
Yeah. The Genocide Order?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus. Yeah, no, this planet, is fucked, because...
Well, and I loved the fucking Batman Forever level of jumping, Yangs. That sounds like Yanks, which could be short for Yankees. What is happening?
And communists!
The only other word that starts with C-O-M or
And then
whatever.
they found out, oh no, it was actually short for commitments. The entire civilization was a commitments cover band. Wait, were they made up for a movie?
Nom nom nominations.
No shit, yeah.
Communists.
Yep.
That's the other thing, too. It's it was hard for me to even enjoy the parts that were good, though, because I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
It was just I know what's going to be happening at the end of this. I can't enjoy even the fun leap over a chest-high wall.
Oh, don't lie. We all liked that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What I loved even more was that Kirk jumped over this wall because he's being chased. And then Tracy, who had plenty of time, even though it wasn't a very wide wall, sort of stumbled over it instead of just going the extra 2 feet to the right and walking around it. He was like, I'm going to awkwardly shuffle over it.
Didn't want to be outdone by Kirk.
Well, he was, because Kirk leapt. He just kind of let his balls gently caress it.
There was a fighting moment where Kirk gets backed up against a wall of baskets,
Yes.
and I don't know why I assumed this, but I assumed that he would just kick out whatever was holding up these baskets, and all the baskets would tumble down.
See, I was
Yeah.
waiting for him to grab the one behind his head and put it over Tracy's head.
That's what I was waiting
Oh, that would have been good.
We all expected the baskets to get used. They seemed like Chekhov's baskets.
Use of baskets.
Very poor.
That would definitely... If they put a basket on
That music would have
it
been.
definitely would have had the silly music.
And then Kirk just would have kidney punched him to death.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's got dark.
Fisted him.
Turned him into a sock puppet.
That again.
Now, here's the thing, right? So at the end of the episode, it's all this very hopeful, America. But as I understand what happened is leading up to the end, the Yangs totally wiped out the Combs.
That's what was vague. If it was all of them or just the ones in that area.
Well, Cloud even said this is the last comb area or something like that.
Yeah.
They've already wiped out all the other combs.
Yeah, it's possible they genocided
listen,
them, including
there's-
that one Doc had wanted to get with.
There's nothing
Yeah.
more American than killing commies.
It's true. Yeah, Doc did have a moment with the girl that brought him some food.
Yeah, he was
It really did look like egg rolls or something.
Yeah.
Or wontons. It's what did you just bring him?
Well, it's because that's what 60s TV writers think of as East Asian food. They were just they sent an intern down to the nearest corner
we need
shop.
some egg foo young stat.
Nah, it definitely wasn't Egg Foo Young.
No, I knew it wasn't. I was just...
I know, I just want to be glib. I apologize.
Now kiss.
No.
But yeah, no, that was fine. She walks in. It's the first time clearly Doc has looked up from his machinery in hours, and the big smile. I'm like, oh, are they gonna give Doc a romance subplot now?
Yeah, it's just a completely one-off, out of the blue Doc looking at a woman's scene.
Doc happens to appreciate beautiful women. It just
does.
happens. He just has an appreciation of the finer things.
I like to think that, for all we see Kirk constantly getting it on, that just very quietly Bones is similarly conquesting across the galaxy. It's never in a way that we see in an episode.
Oh, he's probably had all of his nurses and Uhura.
I know he apparently got with an earlier life of Dax from Deep Space Nine.
Hot.
No idea what that means.
You'll see.
Yeah.
Great. 5 years from now, this will all make sense.
Yeah, I mean, Leonard McCoy.
Putting you in the bone zone.
Man.
That's why he's really
Bones
called Bones.
zone.
The Enterprise must really stink.
Oh, you say that
Yeah, I was
all
gonna say,
starships.
We've definitely had this conversation
I'm
before.
sure all starships stink. I was thinking about I was watching a video this week about the South Pole. Like somebody did like a video tour. It was I found it on Reddit or something. A video tour of the South Pole facility, that the U.S. South Pole facility, and it's fucking massive. And like
they have like a
all I'm
gym
thinking is
and
like
everything.
poor fucking like they probably built this thing over the corpse of poor Captain Oates. But it's like this fucking massive facility, and all I could think of is that place must stink like rotting crotch. Because you have all these people down there for like all through the winter.
They don't shower?
Well, they
no
shower,
running
but
water?
I'm just imagining they're boning constantly.
Can't really
That's what
vent
I
the
mean.
place. You can't crack a
Like
window.
the woman that's doing the walkthrough is like, and here's all our VHS cassettes, and I'm like,
VHS?
yeah, it's like
No one sent the
on.
poor bastards a DVD player?
Well,
either?
they haven't needed it because they're just always banging. That's my theory. Anyway. Anything else on the Omega virus?
Thank God it's over.
In my headcanon, Captain Tracy is Canadian,
A.
which is the only reason he couldn't beat Kirk to the punch of interpreting all the American bullshit. Which, again, that annoyed me, too, by the way.
That Kirk still has the test to memorize the preamble to the Constitution.
Like, I'm sorry.
I will never forget the preamble as long as I live.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing.
Yeah, but you're an American, and he's not.
Kirk was American.
Is there an America?
That's my point.
But he was born in, like, Kansas or some
Yeah,
shit.
but what I mean is there's
Same
no
thing.
U.S. government. There's no...
Yeah, there's a united Earth government now.
He remembers random facts about absolute horse shit all the time.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
but-
feel like if you weren't made... Like, do you think they're actually continuing to make children memorize the preamble and
the
Gettysburg
Pledge of
Address?
Allegiance?
Here's what I think happened. I think that whatever YouTube is in the future, they put that Schoolhouse Rock shit up on there. And that went around like it was memes. Future memes. And so everybody, for like 6 months, were all singing the preamble. It was like the cool thing to do while Kirk was in Federation School. The Academy is what it's called.
It was basically the Badgers song.
Yeah, it was Badger, Badger, Badger,
I mean,
Badger.
I get
but
that-
instead it was the preamble.
I get that Star Trek is an American-produced show.
Yep.
So it's, to be expected that it would be very American-centric.
Yeah.
But
And Nazis.
the implication is that the United States is the best government.
Yep.
And America, even 300 years in the future,
Well,
America, fuck yeah.
Kirk even says, words much like this have been said by many cultures and many worlds, but never quite like this. Which he's saying, by the way, as he holds the words written independently by an alien world. So the fact that you're holding that document proves your own statement wrong, you stupid fuck.
What?
Because he's saying, these words have never been said quite this way.
He clearly
Except-
didn't get to the part in the Constitution with the 3/5 compromise.
Oh,
Yeah. Awkward. But yeah, seriously, the fact that he's saying, as he holds a duplicate document that someone else created, that these words have never been said quite this way, is itself proving his statement wrong.
Well-
it has in fact been said this way.
Well, evidently there's just enough parallel Earths out there that it's been said, at least to date, 3 times.
fucking Miri, you bitch.
Being fair, we don't know what their government was.
Yeah, but it was
I
probably...
think it was bonk bonk or whatever the fuck that kid kept saying.
Well, that became the new constitution after their
Yeah.
What was
society
it? Was it bonk bonk?
It was
Bonk,
bonk,
bonk
bonk
on
on
the
the
head.
head.
Bonk,
Good.
bonk
I'm glad
on the
that
head.
I can fucking remember that. That and the preamble.
I gotta say, Miri just keeps getting bumped down the list of shitty episodes.
Yeah, eventually we'll remember it as one of the top ones.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know, it'll be...
We haven't even gotten to season 3 yet,
That's
guys.
true.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus, we gotta get to Spock's brain.
Rough seas ahead, is it, folks?
By all accounts, season 3 is mostly garbage.
There's a couple of shining moments, but not much.
Shining moments, like The Shining, like Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
And Scatman Carruthers.
Exactly.
Perfect. Shelley Duvall.
Anything else about the Omega pile of fucking garbage?
Just I'm glad it's over. I think I
make
already
it
said
end.
that. but
Make
I'm so
it
glad it's
end.
over.
Oh, I know, it's definitely... I know I said on the air a few weeks ago that I decided the Apple was definitely worse than Private Little War. I'm not sure anymore. They're in flux. This is now also somewhere in that top 3 of shittest episodes. I don't know exactly what the order is, But boy, is it up there. And suddenly, like I said, Miri doesn't seem so bad anymore. Shore Leave seems less horrific.
Bonus round. Are any of these episodes worse than Warrior's Gate from Doctor Who?
Ooh. That is really bad.
It is really bad.
It is intensely bad.
Really bad.
And it's really long.
Really long. Like 6 episodes, isn't it?
Oh god, it was a 6-parter?
Or was it a
I
4-parter?
don't remember.
It was long and terrible.
Why are they so long?
So old Doctor Who was
All serialized.
yeah, and it was, in all they were half-hour each episodes.
It's usually like 4. I think.
They were usually
it would be 4, but
Sometimes
then some
they do
were
6 or 8.
12.
Ooh.
Right? Dalek Master Plan was 12.
There's only one 12-parter ever, but yes.
But then there was 8, which was War Games was 8.
There were a
wasn't
couple
it?
of 8s. Like,
Or
eventually...
was War Games 10?
No, that was an 8, I think.
8.
But yeah, no, Old Who, like, started off with they have all sorts of crazy numbers. Eventually they settled on them mostly being 4, but they do the occasional 6, and on rare occasions they'd still do an 8-parter.
Well, and then, of course, there was, like, that season, the Key to Time series, where, like, there were, 6 4-episode blocks that all
Had sort of an
one big
overarching
arc.
connecting thing. Yeah, I don't know, though. That's a bad one. Delta and the Bannerman's fucking terrible.
Oh, that's the like super chrome fucking Sylvester McCoy episodes,
Yeah.
right? That one is really
Yeah.
bad. There's a lot of bad Doctor Who. It's probably more bad Doctor Who than Star Trek, but
Well, there's
It's
also
probably more bad Doctor Who than good Doctor Who.
there's possibly more Doctor Who than Star Trek too, as well. So.
well, it's true because
Well, not individual stories. Wow. Okay. Anyway, this has been Doctor Who Corner.
I like the one with the robot parrot that K9 catches.
I don't remember that one.
It's called Pirate Planet.
How do you remember
Oh, that's
the names of
that's from the
everything?
Key to Time. How do I not remember the parrot?
fire.
There's the pirate captain
Yeah.
has a parrot that's like a
Why
robot
don't I
parrot.
remember that?
I vaguely remember the robot.
There's
parrot.
a scene where and the parrot like attacks people, and then there's a scene where like there's a big fight and all hell's breaking loose, and then K9 comes in with the robot parrot in his mouth.
K9 didn't have a mouth.
Well, in his face, hanging out of
His like nose suction cup.
yeah, it's like attached to the front of him.
Anyway,
Wow.
I mean, it's still science fiction at least.
Dun, dun,
Oh
dun,
god.
dun,
Um,
dun, dun, dun,
God.
Red Foreman.
Oh shit! There was an interview with him the other day. I meant to post.
Oh.
Because it's like I don't know if it was StarTrek.com or a Star Trek fan site, but they were specifically catching up with him because he was on Star Trek. Anyway, if we're all set here,
I'm all done with
after
this.
our multiple tangents and one of the worst Star Trek episodes ever, this has been episode
27.
27, yes, of A Star to Steer Her By. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, do please find and like our Facebook page if you haven't already. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting application machine. We are on
Robot Android.
Yes, on Twitter and Tumblr as SSHB Podcast. Next week, we will be looking at The Ultimate Computer and Bread and Circuses. So, yes, that's next week. Huh. For A Star to Steer Her By, this has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And this is Jake.
Thank you for listening.
Be sure to tip your yeoman.
Because they're just always banging. That's my theory. Emily.
Sweet. I'd like to
One
get
of
sent
them
on a
is going to
mission
be listening to
Antarctica.
this.
I'd like to think they get really shit-faced sometimes and grab the corpses they know of from the Terra Nova expedition and like dress them up in party hats and get shit-faced with them.
They probably do.
Just pouring liquor all over Captain Scott's frozen head.
If anybody who has been to the
Using
South
him as
Pole
a
is
booze
listening,
loom.
you should contact us and we will talk to you about all of the banging that must happen there.
What is that called? A shot luge? What is that thing? When
What?
you pour liquor down like
Oh,
a...
a nice... Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's
Well,
called
anyway,
a luge.
yeah, they use Captain Scott as a luge.
Yeah. It's just right down his butt crack.
That's what I was also thinking that. I'm sorry to say.
Poor Captain Scott. Should have sent his body home.
Should have sent a poet.
Shouldn't have brought a lot of the crap he brought.
Should have brought dogs.
I like how one of the and during that tour, I noticed that there's like a big plaque that says the geographic South Pole and December whatever, rolled Amundsen, and it had like a quote from Amundsen, and then it had Robert Scott, and February or January, whatever date it was, and it had the quote from Scott was like, "We've made it here, but not under the circumstances we liked," or it was some like quote that was like
It was like a Kirk speech.
It was.
We made it here, but all of my men are dead.
Yeah, it was like, God damn it! Like, there's the Amundsen quote, which is like, the greatness of whatever,
Heroic.
some heroic quote. Then you get Scott's
One
like,
big step
fucking
for-
A, guys.
One small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. Scott's just like, son of a bitch!
I mean, if nothing else, the man did make it on money.
That's true.
There is an Antarctic currency that they use at the stations there, and he's on one of the bills.
Who is Scott?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But it's like a $5 bill. It's not like a big bill.
Yeah, I don't know.
Amundsen
Probably.
is on the 100.